Hi.
What's going on?
Not much. Okay, so we're gonna get this show started, everybody.
Let's get
What's
it.
up? Yeah, what's up? What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Speak Your Mind Radio Podcast, where it's all about the underground local artists and talents around the world. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miss Hip Hop, aka Star, and I'm honored to have a very, very special guest in the building today. So, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, your age, and what you do?
What up, y'all? My name is Descendant. I am from Newport News, Virginia. I'm a independent hip hop rap artist. I currently live out here in New York. I moved out here in New York in 2016 from Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm just out here just living my dreams, man, trying to take it to the next level as much as possible. I hope that answered all of your questions.
Yeah, definitely did. That's what's up. Now, before we really get started, I want to do like an icebreaker. And
Okay.
the icebreaker is like a little riddle. And I want you to finish the riddle after.
I'm hard with these. All right. I'm going to try.
Okay. Trying is A+ effort. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The White House is not on the right side of the street. The White House is not on the left side of the street. The house is
On the right side?
No, it's not on the right side and it's not on the left side.
Because you said left side twice.
I did?
Didn't you?
No, I'll say it again. The White House is not on the right side of the street. The White House
is in the center.
Is where?
Is in the center. In
Look,
the middle?
no, it's in DC, the White House.
Oh my! That's the answer.
Yeah, the White House is
Interview
in DC.
over. Interview over. I quit. I'm done. Have a good night. Thank you.
That was funny to send it.
That's crazy. I don't even. I'm not even good at these.
That's okay.
All right. Never mind.
Okay.
Well, as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not great at riddles.
Most people aren't. That's okay.
Man, that was bad.
You're all good. But I have a couple of questions for you. Like
Yeah.
First of all, tell me like how long you've been rapping / acting, because I've been watching you on IG. I know you act, and what made you start doing music in the first place?
Those are some good questions. As far as rapping, I would say 14.
Wow.
Well, probably younger than that. Well, no, I say 14. 9 years old is when I was writing like heavily, like really heavy. I was doing poetry at first, but I kept it to myself. I didn't really share it with anyone. And I gotta credit, even though I feel like sometimes school sucks, but I have to give credit to my school at that time. I don't remember the name, so I'm sorry, but it was English class that I was very into words, and in particular plays like Othello. I think is the book Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Mm-hmm.
That book. Those two stories got me into writing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as in school. Now, the influences as far as like storytelling is why I wanted to rap. People like Tupac Shakur, people like Ice Cube, Nas,
Yes.
Jay-Z, just to name a few, are great storytellers. So,
I agree.
Those are the type of artists that, got me into, wanting to be an artist myself and tell my own story. Now, as far as acting, once again, I go back to just being a fanatic of comedy movies, fanatic of dramas, or like true life stories and documentaries, even though, you know, documentaries is not considered acting, but the reenactment inside of documentaries is what got me into the story more, because they're painting a picture of how that person went through whatever they went through in their real life. So I credit like people like Spike Lee, John Singleton, growing up and watching those type of films made me want to act. I like the whole concept of being someone else in front of a camera. So I used to do plays when I was younger, like church plays, anything that considered hands-on activity. I always had the imagination of just, you know, being somewhere else or out of my element, particularly, you know, any negative thing that I was going through at the time. So that's why I love to act. Or you can see in some of my music videos, I do short stories or short films, rather than your regular average hip hop video. So, you know, those are the root causes of me wanting to act or and also be an artist.
Wow, that's an incredible answer, because that actually brings me to my next question. Like, how's your acting skills helped you throughout your career thus far?
You asked us some good questions. As far as helping me paint the picture in the studio when I'm recording, I think acting, you know, once again, Ice Cube is like, that's the first person that comes to my mind. When he tells stories, it's like a movie. And that's why I think it was so perfect for him to become an actor, because his songs, before you saw the music video, was a movie. Mm-hmm. If you listen to a song like Once Upon a Time in the Projects, if you listen to a song like A Bird in the Hand, those are just, you know, just a few examples of how vivid he paints his pictures with his lyrics. So, and I think that was a perfect transition for him to become an actor, because he was able to write a song. And I think he got that. I heard an interview where he said that's what made him start to write screenplays, because John Singleton told him, man, if you could write a song, you can write a script. You know, so I listened to that, and that kind of sparked my interest even more, because a lot of my songs were like story as well. So, you know, that's why I kind of relate to two. So just helping me record in the studio and give that emotion off to the listener so they'll understand where exactly I'm coming from in the song.
Wow. I love that answer too. You are very in depth with your answers. So, like, I know you said you used to write poetry, right?
Yes.
When coming up when you were 9, 10 years old. So what role does poetry play in your raps?
Well, it was the stepping stone, I would say. That was the hardest transition for me, becoming a quote unquote poet, per se, into an artist. Because I ain't gonna front, in the beginning, I struggled with flow. Mm-hmm. With poetry, there's not necessarily a flow you have to follow.
True.
You know, you could do a free verse. It's not a cadence. You can put that in poetry, but that's not required. In hip hop or rap music, it has to be a cadence. It has to be syllables, and which I was able to do in poetry, but it wasn't to a rhythm. It was just me speaking from my heart. It wasn't really towards a beat. So that transition was very difficult for me, and it showed in my early recordings, because like my content was always there. Even the engineer that I was working with at the time, I forgot his name. Damn, I forgot his name. But you know, I would spend hours and hours and hours in the studio, like block 6-hour studio time, just recording. Half the songs I may not use, but it would just gear me to perfect my flow. And even the engineer, and they were honest with me. They was like, yo, your content is there, man, but you gotta work on the flow. You all over the place. And at first I didn't understand until I started to hear the music, and I'll hear my favorite artist. Not to say I was comparing myself, but I was like, okay, I see what he means. So it was actually a rough transition. But once practice makes perfect. I'm not gonna sit up and say, oh, all the songs I ever did was a top 10 or top hit with a bullet. Like, nah, it was just, it was a learning process. Because you know how artists get, it's like they want to be braggadocious, like everything they touch is just platinum, and that's not it.
I definitely agree with you on that. The transition from writing poetry to writing full-blown rap songs it's a huge really difference. Hard. Yes, oh my God.
Huge difference, and a stanza in a poetry, a stanza could be just, it could be 8 bars and that's it. Have to be, there's no choruses in poetry or anything, what I'm saying? There's no hook or no bridge. There's nothing like that. Poetry can help if your writing is like that, but in the beginning, my writing wasn't. It was just me expressing myself or whatever problem I was going through. And I only kept it to myself. When I did poetry, I didn't really perform it. And that's another thing that kind of would have helped me even more if I performed poetry, but I really didn't like that.
Okay. So when you were writing poetry, you didn't really do like the spoken word aspect of it, like get on stage and read off a paper or your phone.
I was too shy for that. No, I kept it in. It was like almost like a quote unquote personal journal, that I pulled out from time to time. And it was really at home. It wasn't like I did it at school or nothing like that. It was really at home. I was just in my bedroom at the time and just write poetry. Or if I'm in the car, I'm writing poetry. You know what I'm saying? I just kept it to myself.
Well, you're not keeping it to yourself anymore.
Not anymore. Nah. But at that age I was, 9, 10, I'm not, ain't trying to, I was still in that shell. Everyone has that shell, they break out of, hopefully when they go through puberty, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't nothing to like share. Like, oh my God, this is like masterpiece. Like, nah, it was not like that. It was nothing like that.
Exactly. So I want to know, like, who were some of your best loved MCs growing up and why?
It's a 2-part answer for that.
Cool.
I gotta say, the artists who made me fall in love with hip hop culture and music is because of my peers. These, the artists I may name are, of course, before my time, but the peers before me was always playing them. So that was my introduction of hip hop music, which was LL Cool J, Eric B and Rakim, 2 Live Crew, KRS-One, NWA, Public Enemy. I remember Salt and Pepper. Those artists made me fall in love with hip hop, like Run DMC, of course. And, this if I seen it on TV, or most of the time, it was just because my uncle was playing the music. So that was my introduction, to falling in love with hip hop. But the artists who made me want to write and want to be an artist are artists like Mos Def, Redman, Scarface, Nas. Tupac is the GOAT to me. He's my favorite of all time. He was the first person that made me like not rap and be like him, but rap and be like me. Like, just talk about where I come from. Because his pictures that he painted, I feel like were very vivid to what I was seeing or what I was going through at the time. So it was just like, yo, this is, I can do this and make a living off of it. It wasn't about becoming a millionaire. It was just like, I can do this and people will listen. That is what attracted me to it. It was that feeling on stage that made me want to be like, I want to do this for a living. It wasn't because, the first thing wasn't, oh, I could be a billionaire, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but that wasn't my first attraction. It was all just chasing that high of coming off stage and having people come up to you and say, hey, that touched me in a certain way, or I understand that, I understand where you're coming from. Or it could even be, that made me angry. I don't like what you did. Like, even that gave me like the energy to keep going. So those two groups of artists that made me fall in love with rap music and made me want to be a rap artist. So yeah.
Wow. Now you mentioned Tupac and as being a great influence as being an MC, but I remember about 2 years ago you put out a remake of what's it called? What's Love? What I Want to Fuck. Yeah. I heard that joint and I fell in love with it because I never heard someone like reenact what Tupac already did on a remake of a song,
Right.
When I heard
Thank you.
Yo, you're welcome. It made me like all fuzzy and warm inside. I'm like, wow, this dude really gets it. He gets what rap music is all about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was kind of like bridging the gap of, because we're at that age, or we're at that time and age where people are like, oh, it's almost like when growing up in the 90s, how people who loved the rap in the 80s were saying, oh, the 90s ain't like the 80s and blah, blah, blah. I think we're at that time where people are saying that about the 2000s or the 2010s. It's like, oh, this is not the 90s music. So I wanted to like bridge a gap per se on my platform, because Tupac is one of my, like I said, he's one of my favorite artists. But at the same time, his music is timeless because we're still talking about him to this very day. So it's like, let me remake one of my favorite songs of his. And I ain't gonna front, I was very nervous because it's like, it's Tupac,
right.
And people follow me just off the reason of loving Tupac.
Yes.
And posting that song, I'm like, man, I don't know because Tupac fans is, they can go hard if they don't feel like you represented or whatever like that. You become a meme very quickly. So I was like, all right, let me just put this out. Not to say I got millions of followers, but I could have millions of followers if this joint is good, or even if it sucks by just people just laughing and joking. So when I put it out, and I just gave it a test run to see. But a lot of people liked it. And that gave me a lot of confidence.
Definitely. I want to get back into some of your acting skills and everything. I want to know like who were some of your greatest influences as an actor, like whether they be comedians or just actors or films or whatever.
That is a good. Yeah, I swear, man, you on point, man. I love your questions. Your questions are fire. Because I never got asked that question before. So no, this is dope. Cool. As far as acting and actresses, I would say, because growing up in a single parent home, a lot of the characters that these actors and actresses played kind of raised me. So of course Denzel, Wesley Snipes, Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, rest in peace to John Witherspoon. Like the characters he played, reminded me of some of my family members or people in my neighborhood. Even the rappers turned actors. I was a huge Tupac fan of his acting. Will Smith, Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill when she first started. Who else? I love Halle Berry, Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Who else? It's so many people. Martin Lawrence.
Yep.
Will Smith, and I'm gonna say Will Smith one more time. Who else? It's so many people. Give me just, let me see. I said Angela Bassett. I know I said her.
Yes.
I honestly enjoy Whitney Houston as an actress.
Me too.
I honestly enjoy Whitney Houston as an actress. Yeah, that's about it. As far as it's probably a lot more, but those off the top of my head, those are the people who hit me the most. And of course, my favorite directors are John Singleton and Spike Lee at the time. Now we have Ava. She is killing it right now. So, yeah, just to name a few, those are the people who like influenced me to become an actor, even if they're a woman or a man. So definitely.
Ooh, great answer. Now speaking of coming off the top of the head, when it comes to flowing, do you always write your own lyrics, or do you have a ghostwriter?
Wow. That's the first time I got asked that question too. I always write my lyrics. I always write my lyrics. I never had anyone like write something for me and I like say it like this or had it pre-recorded and I'll just copy them. Nah, I didn't have that. Did I have people help me in the studio? Like engineers, you should say it like this, or no, I think you should say it like this. Maybe you should take that word out because you're putting too much words in this one bar. Things of that nature to help the song better. Yes, I've had that. But as far as writing goes, no one has ever helped me write any song that I've done.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful aspect of becoming an independent artist, is that you have to do everything on your own, from writing your own lyrics to not producing your own beats. That just comes with naturally, if it does come,
Right.
But definitely you're authentic. So when sometimes people go through things in life, they go through ups and downs, and so what's one of your favorite songs you have written and why?
Probably Blessed.
I knew it.
The song that I have out now on my album, A Voice for the Voiceless.
Yes.
Currently available everywhere. Just want to throw that out there. But it's that song has turned into something totally that I wasn't expecting. I wrote it from a good space, but it seems like, and I recorded it from a good space. Like I would just realize how blessed I was for the things that I do have. But after recording the song and after it was released, there's all these obstacles were just coming out of nowhere. And the more and more and more I added it to my show, the more and more energy that the fans and the crowd has gotten from it. And it turned into something else, to the point that fans, people who love my music are requesting that song be a music video. And that's what I'm doing next. One of the first times that fans are like, we want you to do this song. People hit me up. I love this song. And people just hear it live. They hear it live with a band, or if I'm doing with the actual show track, and it's taking a life of its own. And this year, especially 2019, as it comes to a close, that song has given me so many blessings. No pun intended, but yeah, it's that song that really, right now, is probably my favorite.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, like, what experience, like, led you to write that song, Blessed? Because so many people need to hear it. I think it's an important aspect of life in general.
Definitely. At that particular time, I was in Raleigh, North. All the songs that you hear off that album, besides the last song I wrote in New York, but all the other songs I wrote in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I didn't have a car. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 jobs, and I was just, sometimes people would complain about, the little, I call it the little things that's really not important. And we take for granted what I call the little small things, like just simply breathing. I have a series that I do on Instagram and Facebook on the stories. It's called Random Thoughts. It's just random things that I think and I share with the people. So yesterday I was just thinking, like, I was just, at that time I was just being happy for the small things that we take for granted, like walking, getting up and being able to walk.
Yes.
You won't realize how blessed a blessing that is until that gets taken away from you.
That's right.
Being able to see, hear, touch, taste, feel, breathe. You know what I'm saying? As simple as breathing. It's some people. Everyone celebrate Thanksgiving. There's a lot of people that didn't get to celebrate it with their loved ones. So certain people was expecting to wake up on Thanksgiving to celebrate with, and they didn't. Just little things of that nature. Not to say it has to be a dark and gloomy song, and you always have to think about that. You just got to be realizing how blessed and thankful that what you truly have. You're able to get up and walk. There's certain people they were able to see the next day, but they can't walk. They're in a wheelchair. They're paralyzed. for the rest of their life, or they're trying to get back to walking, and it's going to take them some time to do it. We just take we take things like that for granted. So when I wrote that song Blessed, I was just in that space of not complaining about stuff that really doesn't have any real effect if it's not life-threatening. And we all get caught up in that sometimes, especially living in the city, and we complain about public transportation, the food prices, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, did you make it to see the next day?
Right.
You have another chance to succeed. That's all that matters.
I totally agree with you on that. When I listened to that song, I felt exactly what you're saying right now. And there's one part of the song that I was really interested in. It's you said hard times come, but it could be worse. Blessed with the gifts, but celebrate the curse. Now, before I let you explain what that line means to everybody, I kind of want to put my 2 cents in and say what I think it means.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I want to hear.
Okay, it's poetry to me. So hard times come. Everybody has hard times. Everybody goes through ups and downs in life, but it could be worse. Like you said, you could not be able to walk. You could not be able to see. You could not be able to taste, and blessed with the gifts that you have, to the stamina to make it through these hard times and celebrate the curse, because you got to celebrate the hard times in order to make it to the good times. So you can be a testimony of what you went through. Amen.
Yes.
Okay. So did I explain it right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I'm like being quiet. Like, she got it all right now. Well, I don't got to say nothing.
Okay, cool. Because now what I want to do, I want the audience to hear this song, at least a sample of it, because it's available on all platforms, including Spotify, Apple iTunes, everywhere, you guys. Everywhere. So I really want people to definitely stay in tune to this song. So here's a sample of Blessed by Descendant MC, and here it goes something like this.
Wake up into my best with no stress. Glad I'm alive, facing death. Life is full of tests with no rest. Then gotta realize that I'm blessed. Yes. I'm blessed. Yes. I'm blessed. One hand in the air if you love your life. The ones who passed on, may they spirit shine bright. Yo, forget your pain, the wrongs and rights. No matter where you are, celebrate your life. So many loved ones that's dead and gone. Remember the good times when you hear this song. Life changes with your peers. Thankful that you able to see another year. Cheers, everybody just laughing and drinking, looking at old pics like what was I thinking? Innocent lives is taking all this earth. Yo, listen, you not riding the hearse. Hard times come, but it could be worse. Blessed with the gifts, but celebrate the curse. Fuck this nigga talking about. Blessings coming soon, homie, watch your mouth. Wake up into my best with no stress. Glad I'm alive, facing death. Life is full of tests with no rest. Then gotta realize that I'm blessed. Yes. I'm blessed. Yes. I'm blessed.
All right, y'all.
That was a nice little sample. I like that.
For sure. You guys got to check him out. Descendant MC on Instagram, baby. And tell everybody else where they can find you at, and your songs in the Voice for the Voiceless album.
Yes. You can also follow me on Twitter, Descendant MC as well, and Facebook. A Voice for the Voiceless is available on all streaming platforms and iTunes right now. YouTube as well. I got 3 music videos out for this album. Short film called Be More, that's at 36,000 views right now.
Wow.
For my song Be More. I did I did a music video for Hardcore, which was over 1,200 views, and recently did a music video for Not Good Enough.
Yes, I love that song.
Thank you. That was probably one of the most fun times, shooting that video in the summertime. We had a good time in New York City doing that. It was a lot of fun. And that's why I'm pushing now. And the next one will be Blessed. This is fan favorite. So I have to, got to get the people what they want.
Definitely. And we're going to be looking out for that new music video for Blessed, because Blessing, yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's the favorite thing in the show. When I do that at the show, the whole like call and response thing. That's how I get the crowd into it at shows, and they love it when I do that.
Oh, definitely. Call and response among our people is definitely among the hip hop culture.
It's like a Negro spiritual. Like it's deeply rooted in the soul for some odd reason.
It truly is. Well, Descendant, I have a little bit of fun questions to ask you before we end this session.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, off the top 5 MCs of all time. Go.
I hate this question. All right, this is hard, man. It's hard. It is hard. All right. No particular. Pac would be number one. Everybody else is no particular order. This is hard, man. This is hard. This is ridiculous and it's hard. Okay. Nas, Scarface.
Two more.
This is hard, Joe. Mos Def.
For sure.
Is gonna have to be a tie between Black Thought.
Ooh, boy.
And Busta Rhymes.
Ooh, tight squeeze. I like that, boy.
Man. Yeah, that's even though and I'm thinking about other people like, damn it, I meant to put whatever. That's my top 5 for right now. It changes, but yeah, right now that's my top 5.
Okay, cool. Now, one last question. Everybody has to know this question after listening to this interview with you. First of all, what are your short-term goals, and what can we expect from Descendant MC in 2020?
Short-term goals. That is a great question. I was just working on that a few weeks back. Short-term goals are to do this music thing full-time.
Wow.
That's one of my short-term goals. It doesn't have to be, like I said, becoming a millionaire, but I'm getting close to that goal. But I feel like if I'm able to actually live off of making music and content and short films, that would be my biggest goal, because I'm doing something that I feel like that's my purpose. So that's probably the first thing that comes to my mind as far as short-term goals are concerned, to take it to the next level. In 2020, expect the new music video, at least from Blessed. I'm working on a short film about a short documentary, about sickle cell anemia and how it has affected me and my family. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll begin shooting in 2020. I don't know if it will be out, but that's what I'm going to start doing in 2020. New EP, and I'm currently working on now. New collaborations with other artists, from reggae to R&B. Expecting that in 2020. That's going to be fire. I'm doing a part 2 of my tour to promote my album in the beginning of the first quarter. So I'm doing that as well. So, because there's some cities that I missed in part 1, I want to come in part 2 and see if we can get it popping in different cities out there. So that's what you can expect from me in 2020. And more surprises, of course, but right now, that's what I'm working on.
Okay, Descendant, you need to come to Chicago. Show some love to Chicago,
man. When I tell you, you probably gonna be. I was supposed to come to Chicago earlier this month. Because it's still November. Earlier this month, I had a Midwest tour, but I had a show out here in New York. I had to perform with a band, and I was really focused on that, and put my focus on it, and sold out that show. So, after that, it was just like I didn't have enough scheduling and timing just wasn't good. So I had to skip on that. But it's all good. I'll definitely be there in 2020. How about that?
Yes, I love it. And I will be at your show in 2020, okay?
Yes,
VIP,
yes,
baby.
please. Exactly. Yeah. Pull up.
You said pull up.
Yeah, pull up. Please, everybody. Pull up on me, like that kid said in IG. Pull up on me. Yeah, please.
Tell everybody where they can follow you at.
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Descendant MC. That is DESCENDENTMC. But my name is just Descendant. I put the MC on there because, I'm a rapper. You know how rappers get. And I didn't know it was a rock band called The Descendants. And I want to, make sure there's a difference. Didn't want to get us mixed up. So definitely all of that social media platform and on Tidal, on Spotify, Apple Music is just Descendant. Once again, that's DESCENDENT, and on iTunes as well. So for my album, A Voice for the Voiceless, my other album that I came out with, Road to Greatness, Journey of a Lost Soul. You can also subscribe to my YouTube page. Once again, Descendant MC. And yeah, man, we're just going to keep rolling with dope content, and hopefully by this time next year I'll be on another level.
Oh, definitely yeah. I foresee good things for you, brother. Thank
you. You too, man, because this I enjoyed this interview, so thank you. It was more like a conversation more than you just asking me questions. It felt like we were just chilling, at a kickback or something. You were just asking me dope questions, so I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, Descendant. I appreciate you too, bro. And I just want to let everybody know you can find this interview on Anchor. It's an app for podcasting, and you can also find this on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere where the basic fundamentals of podcasting are available on different apps and platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to my page, Stars Views. That's STARR VIEWZ on YouTube, where you can find this interview as well. And don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up when you hear it, and comment below what you thought about Descendant MC. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back for another Speak Your Mind Radio podcast. Check you out later. Thank you, Descendant.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.